we're back on the Loadstar here. See if I can't wire up a ignition switch and a starter switch and put those somewhere convenient in the cab, and then we'll run our fuel pump and line into the cab and just stick it in a jug for now. I was looking at the tanks underneath and it seems like that's going to be a little more involved than I want to right now. So I just want to move in the direction that there's a more convenient switch system and wiring, and it's not all right here, and a little bit more permanent fuel system, even if it's a jug in the cab. That'll work for now, and then move on to getting the clutch working and see what everything turns out to be after that. So I'm going to take some time and wire this stuff up and run the fuel system out. It's not really going to be that much entertainment wise, so I'll just go ahead and get it done and then check back in and show you guys what I did. All right, checking in here. Did a few things. One of them was I cleaned the cab out. A little less junked up in here now. We've found some treasures behind the seat. A nice brand new quart of oil there, and a ice scraper and battery hooks and a tow hook. And like I always say, people should not put carpet in old trucks or vehicles because they hold moisture and do this. So I ripped every single bit of it out, and if you notice the floor is wet over there, we'll have a quick look. So in the time that we ran this thing, it decided to start leaking coolant out of the heater core, which seems to be a problem for quite a long time now, going by how rusty the floor is. It's not through anywhere, but it's awful thin. So with the carpet out of here, and that's going to solve part of the major issue. And then what I'm going to do now is we've got these heater hoses that feed the heater core, and I've unhooked that one and this one, and I just found this out back in my junk piles of various metal pipe and all that good stuff, and it's about the right size. So I'll just put that in and loop these two hoses together so that they're not hooked up to the heater core, and therefore it can't leak all over the floor now. So that's where I'm at as far as that goes. Now, in the meantime, I've also done all the wiring. Now, it is not the prettiest, by no means, but it is functional, and we like functional. So we have ignition on and off, and we have a starter button, and they're just kind of chilling here for the time being. It's temporary, but it's way better than screwing around with all sorts of stuff out there. So I took the time and zip tied up everything under the dash, made it look kind of somewhat decent, and then everything's kind of zip tied here. Got the fuel pump away from the exhaust, and everything just runs up through the firewall there, and coil wire and fuel pump and all that are kind of linked into each other at some point. So wiring's done, so I'll get this heater core looped, and then we'll try out the wiring. All right, got the heater hoses looped, so that shouldn't be a problem now. I tried to dry up the floor a little bit, so we'll kind of let that air out. But I got the gas can in there with the hose in it now, so I guess we'll try out these switches. Well, there we go. I guess now we're to the point of making the clutch work. So I'll shimmy under here, see if I can't find a bleeder on it. And we'll try and get her back up in shape, and hopefully we can take this thing for a drive. Well, it's about a week later. I tried bleeding the clutch and I couldn't get anywhere with it. No success. So I went online and ordered up a brand new clutch master cylinder and slave cylinder. So we're gonna go ahead and swap both of those out, and we shouldn't really have any more issues with them now. Everything should work after that. Just need to bleed these out real good once they're put on and everything. So let's get after that and see if we can't make a clutch work. Got the line popped off the master, so we'll go in here and unhook everything. Looks like that's all loose already, which kind of helps us. Yeah, just throw it out of the way. It'll be fine. Oh, I love how they give you a pass-through so you can actually get the bolt out. How thoughtful. So we'll get that, and there's the nut for the one bolt that goes through the firewall and holds it on. But the other one is, you know, nice and hidden back here. Oh, there it is. Never mind, it might not be hidden. That looks like it, I think. So we'll get those out, and the master should be off. Nope, I lied to you. It is hidden back there. So we'll have to stick a wrench on that nut and hopefully get it from the other side. So we'll see what we can do here. There, that wasn't too bad. Got it out. So we'll just swap this onto there and kind of match how the adjustment is, and it should be all right. Well, after an angry struggle to get that nut started, I finally got it on, and we're gonna use that wire to hold the wrench to hold the nut. There we go, that's on there. The line's hooked back up, so we'll crawl underneath and get the slave cylinder put on now. And now we're under here getting the slave cylinder bolts out. Just got this rod undone, so we'll keep working at these and get it unmounted. Got the slave cylinder off. I just brought this rod in so I could clean it up and get it kind of smooth again. Looks like somebody's been on it with pliers before in the past, so I wanted to wire brush it and brake clean it off, and then emery cloth this kind of smooth again so it doesn't tear up the new boot on the new slave cylinder. So we'll throw some grease on this and then crawl back under the truck and get it together. All right, it's all in there and put together, so we'll go back up top and dump fluid in the master cylinder and start trying to bleed this thing and see if we can get a clutch. Well, you know, it got dark on me and I kind of shut the camera off and screwed around with this thing forever last night. But check it out. We got a clutch. That means it's time to go twin sticking. Now, before we go and try and drive this thing, I'm gonna crawl underneath and check all the fluids. I'm gonna check the main transmission, the auxiliary transmission, and both rear axles, and just make sure, you know, they got plenty of gear oil in them, because that would sure suck to run any of this stuff dry. So let me do that real quick, and then we will throw a battery back in this beast, and you know, the fuel jug, and we will see what kind of havoc we can wreak around the neighborhood with it. We're underneath her here, and here we've got the giant main transmission. Just pulled the fill plug out, and check it out. She is nice and clean in there. All right, went through all the fluids. As you saw, the main transmission was full, nice and clean. The auxiliary box back here, it was pretty well low and empty, so I topped that off and it's good now. As for the axles, the transfer box is full with that plug there, and then this differential's full. Same with that one, it's full. and all the way through, nice clean fluid. It's kind of surprising actually. So that was the only low one, but it's good now. Now we know we won't wreck anything. Also, old camping mats make for good, you know, gravel creepers. This thing's great. I've been using it for a couple years. So throw the battery back in here and get our fuel jug hooked up. And I think we're pretty well ready. All right, let's see how she starts up after sitting for a bit. Pumpage. Oh. Not bad. We'll let her build the air pressure up here so we can stop. Let's see if the clutch works. Oh yeah, no grindy. Sweet. Feels good too. So what I'm gonna do is try and creep it up a little bit so I can get my chocks out, and then just stop it, shut it off in gear, and then, you know, get those out while it's ahead a little bit, and then hop back in it, and we can just roll down the hill here and try it after that. We should have air built up now. Oh yeah. Okay, let's see if I can screw this up. Well, that might have done it. Definitely didn't feel like a low gear. Nope, didn't do it. Okay. We'll see what we can do. They probably still rolled back on them. Oh, nope. We're getting somewhere. Meanwhile, everyone's in the comment section. Look at this idiot. All right, now we'll roll down the hill and actually try and get somewhere. Okay, we're down the hill. I was screwing around with it a little bit off camera to try and figure this thing out so I don't look like a total moron. At least we got brakes, you know, that's helpful. So we'll go again here. We got real nice low reverse, so we found that. And check it out. We found first. I think I'm getting somewhere to learn in this thing. I'm gonna crawl underneath and adjust the clutch a little bit, because even at a low idle, sitting here still, going into, you know, a low gear, it grinds like crazy. And just out driving it, it grinds a lot. It could be me not knowing what I'm doing, or, you know, the clutch is needing adjustment. So I'm gonna give it some and see if that seems to help it or not. All right, we're underneath. I loosened the jam nut. So basically you turn this one and it's gonna lengthen this rod here, so that when the slave cylinder is activated and it pushes, it'll push on the clutch pressure plate more and better do its job, because the clutch is probably worn out. This thing's old, so we'll try that and see if it helps it. All right, we'll try it now, see if it grinds going into gear. Definitely better. Still a little bit. So after a lot of gear grinding and playing around with it, it seems like the best results are double clutching for sure, because I'm pretty certain the clutch is absolutely worn out, and you know, the transmissions probably aren't that happy too. So if we take our main and we put it in second, and then we take our auxiliary, put it in first, or low, whatever you want to call it, and then we shift through these first. All right, this has absolutely been another fun one to get up and going again. I've always wanted a Loadstar, so how cool to find a tandem axle one with air brakes and twin sticks. That's pretty neat and unique in itself. So, you know, it's a lot of fun to drive. Still trying to learn it. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people in the comments, hey, you're not doing that right, or you should have done this, should have done that. Well, you know, the only way to learn is get into it and start doing it. So, you know, that's what I did, and I think I'm getting the hang of it. But I'm sure there's people in the comments that can, you know, give me some advice, so I'll be happy to read. Something else I did get air into the outside duals that were flat, and they held. So that is cool. It looks way better already with those aired up. And surprisingly, everything works on this thing. I mean, the power steering, once I added fluid to it, it works great now, and air brakes seem to have no problem. So I would definitely say the clutch is worn out because I gave it more adjustment underneath, and you know, it'll still grind when you're trying to get it in gear at a standstill, even with the RPMs really low. So she'll probably need a clutch in the future, but hey, it's mobile again. It's not sitting around left abandoned. So it has been a successful revival on this one as well. So hope you guys enjoyed, and until the next great adventure, I'll see you guys later.